Hello, my loves. Yeah, we are officially starting the Galactic Vision monthly video readings that are exclusive to the sacred space of the Galactic Vision tribe. So I am so stoked to be doing this. I'm so excited to be, bringing through these new teachings and this wisdom that is, it's just had me just like giddy for weeks now, months now, since it's come through me. And now we're officially here. I'm officially talking about it, and I'm doing monthly videos for the, first time ever. I'm kind of going to be going back to how when I first started doing videos, but when I first started doing videos, they were with just the new moon and full moon. But because everything's always so organic with me, I like to just look at the chart and start talking. So this is what I'm going to do with each one of them. But with the monthly videos, I'm going to be having a base greeting for everyone. So you'll want to watch and see when I stop so you can fast forward if you watch another sign. But I wanted to kind of pull everyone together and kind of talk about the monthly theme that is really kind of operating in all of our lives. And then I'm going to go more specific for each sign and tune into what's going on with everybody. As you see too, I also have moon mapping readings in here, and those have been so much fun. It's another thing, one of the things I think when we're born with these gifts, we can learn them from another person. But I believe that for a lot of us, it's just about exploring them on our own, and they develop as we put energy and love and focus into them. So even with the moon mapping readings, I've never done that kind of thing where I tune in to a particular energy of the day and a month in advance. So I was kind of like, I don't even know if these are going to resonate. I was like, I don't know. But every day I would go into a day and I would just be given all these images, and I would have these sensations sometimes in my body. And now that I've done, 2 weeks that I've shown you the last 2 weeks, and now that I've done the next 2 weeks, I see how totally crazy different they are. And I really didn't know that I was able to do this. So I always kind of, encourage people to come out of their comfort zones like that and not think they have to learn it from another person, but to really trust that we're all sovereign beings. We can figure this stuff out on our own. We can do these things on our own. There's a lot of things that we don't really need instructionals from somebody else teaching us how to do this. We innately know how to do this, and it's kind of getting out of our way of judging ourselves, which I'm always kind of like, I don't know if this means anything, but I've gotten enough reinforcement from everybody that now I'm like, this means something. I'm going to talk about this. So it was new for me to tap into the daily energies. I had not done that before, and even with the last 2 weeks that you guys have been able to watch or to read, I didn't resonate with any of those. Like, everybody is having really difficult times in the energy right now, and I was like, I don't really feel anything. I feel great. Like, I've been having some of the best days of my entire life where I just feel so carefree, and I feel like everything is so beautiful and nothing affects me. Things that normally stress me out aren't affecting me at all. And I do have to tell you, I'll just plug this in here, even though I don't like to do this too much with my readings, but we have a new product out that I had Rosie create, and I called it Lightning Bolt, because I asked her to create something that grounds us firmly whenever we have some shocking situation in our life, like running into unconscious people on the streets, and or having an argument with our mother, or seeing something devastating out in the world that, like something like 9/11, like everybody would need lightning bolt, because it just grounds you, and it kind of gives you this overall perspective of what's really going on so that you can move forward solid and not in a fragile state. So when I finally got it in my hands and tried it, I had an example to base it on, and it was amazing how it shifted me within 5 to 10 minutes. So now I've been taking it every day, and what I realized, it's this incredible mood elevator. Like, I am so, like, all these things that everybody has been having such a difficult time with, I have not even felt. So because of the lightning bolt. And I just wanted to let you all know about that, because it's something that you haven't really heard me talk about. I think all of our products are the bomb and are amazing, but this is one I'm really excited about because I feel wonderful and everybody else is freaking out and having such a hard time. And me, I'm just like, hey, you know, it's all good. So it's kind of a profound product, and I want to change it, like lightning bolt to liquid bliss, and they'll be the same. They're both LB, but it's so blissful. It's so, like, it's just amazing. Like, something with the things that she picked for it is just absolutely, it's saved me every day, and I take it every morning. Or if I forget and then something starts stressing me out and I'm like, get to the lightning bolt, and then I take it and I'm like, okay, everything's fine. So it's pretty amazing. So, okay, this month is very much about splitting off, breaking apart, separating. And what we have to realize is that anything, 2016 is the reason that Galactic Vision and the guides came through me to start teaching, or to start sharing these teachings with you. So you already know, I've been saying it for years, that after 2012 we had 3 boot camp years priming us and getting us ready for the things that were to come in 2016 that actually are kind of scary, and kind of, I mean, even some of them are already hitting the scene into our awareness, these threats that could happen, and they are in the manifesting field. So it's very much that this will be the potential and we will be living this. But my galactic guides came through and said we can change this, and it's through enough of us vibrating in the Galactic Vision love, which you'll start to be able to read about in issue 1. And when we are vibrating in this in the 8 vibration of Galactic Vision, we are better able to change situations that can occur on our planet. We are better able to change a person to keep them from doing something devastating and destructive. So through our intentions, we're going to be able to change the world. And it's totally far out, but the more I've been shown all these teachings and the more they're talking to me about this stuff, I know we can do it. So that's why we had the 3 years of boot camp. That's why the Mayan calendar ended. And then we have 3 years to kind of wake up to how we are doing the exact same thing that ended that civilization, which is being too much in the excess of everything, and too much into superficial things, and too much into consumerism, or too much into gold and dazzle and, So, and depleting our resources for the purpose of feeling fulfilled in life through these things that aren't really the means to how we get to that. So we're having the exact same world play out, and we could lose it all. We absolutely, there have been psychics who have seen no more after a certain point, and we're at that point. So there's no time at all to play ego, to play I don't believe this, to play I don't need to change myself, to play I don't need to better myself. We have to right now, and we need everybody signing up and going, okay, I'm ready to learn this stuff, I'm ready to take the high road, I'm ready to shift my vibration up into the Galactic Vision so that I can start influencing this planet and keep us alive this time. We're having the exact same tests, and we can just fizzle away and die and have it, there's 200 people on Earth, or we can really just start making these changes to rebuild this planet and to change our way of thinking, which has gotten us into the hole we're in. But at the same time, it's not about judging ourselves, because we are just doing what we have been shown. We are buying all these things because it's all we've known. So it's not about putting ourselves down, or it's not about putting other people down too. They're only doing what they know. So what you're going to see in the Galactic Vision, it's not about making another person the bad person. And if you understand history, and this is just what I'm getting, because there's so much more to it, but one of the things that really changed American culture and history was when Nixon was just got into office or something, or he was in office for a while, but yeah, Nixon was in office. Okay, so when the people started saying, no, we don't want to have war. So when the youth, for the first time ever, rose up and said no, and they were like, we can come together in numbers and we can change going to Vietnam and murdering people and thinking that war is the way. So when the 60s, in the late 60s, when that uprising came, that is when the forces behind, you know, Nixon and the government, they really kind of stepped in to bring about the me against you mentality. So that's when people who were opposing the war were evil, you know, and it was painted through TV, it was painted through any means to get messages out that people who were disputing the war were terrorists or, you know, whatever. And we had this again played out with 9/11, and now we're having it again played out now. So we're back in that me against you, me against you, me against you. And it's really gotten us to where we are right now, that we now have this mentality of always judging another person, always putting them down, always needing to cram our opinions down their throats. And it's not how we do it. You know, we can actually change people more through energy and through visualization than we can through trying to tell them, no, my sports team is better than your sports team. Listen to me, you know. Everything that you really see out there now is me against you, me against you, me against you. My race is better, my sex is better, my sports team's better, my town is better, my country is better. And it's all a bunch of bullshit because we're all connected, we're all one, we're all affecting like a big mass thing of water. Like every one of us is affecting everybody else. So Galactic Vision is going to open us to that. And with where we are right now, things are breaking apart. So relationships are ending, friendships are ending, work relationships are ending, jobs are ending, living in places are ending. So if you're feeling like this really strong discomfort right now, it's for a reason. The place you're living is not right. The person you're sleeping to is not right. That friend is not right. That collaboration is not right. And if it is right, it feels great. You know, if it is right, it's like, you know, I was telling my best friend in town here, I was talking about this weeks ago, and I'm just recognizing my relationship with people, and I love her so much. This is Rosie, actually. I'm the one who created Lightning Bolt and creates all of our, you know, amazing products. And I was like, every time I'm with you, you know, I never feel uncomfortable. I never feel like I can't say anything. I never feel like I'm picking up on something weird. I never feel like you know, I never feel like I can't say something, I'm having to hold back, but I really need to say something to her. It's nothing but 100% smooth flow, totally natural. I can be myself, she can be herself. And I was telling her, I was like, we really need to be more honoring of our space and only go for things like this, because we sacrifice a lot. We think, well, this has been my friend forever, so I'm gonna hang out with her even though she's so negative, and I am so down when I leave her, and I've been in this relationship for 30 years and I should never leave it because I swore we'd be together until death, and blah blah blah. We've talked about this in recent videos, and right now with this splitting apart energy, it's making it so that it's like intolerable. It's like, I can't even stand the sight of you, or I can't stand to even smell you, or I can't stand to hear your voice. Like, it's like absolute oil and water right now with the people that we are not meant to be in, with the towns we are not meant to be in. You know, and even with that, there's certain locations where we just shine, you know, and there's certain places where we just feel like we're dying. Things just aren't right. And it's really about us taking the risk and opening to where that new place is, where that new person is, where that new job is, where that new way to make a living is. And it doesn't have to be anything that's stressful. And the most important thing, because we come from this foundation of judging everybody as, oh, you're bad, there's something wrong with you, we have to retrain our brain to say, we're breaking apart, but it doesn't mean anything bad about me, and it doesn't mean anything bad about you. You know, we have to retrain ourselves to stop going back into that old pattern of then being like defending this thing, or, you know, laying out the, well, you do this and I can't, and da-da-da. Like, we don't even need that. Like, just end it. It's not working anymore. We have to end this, you know? It doesn't need to be this huge debate of like putting somebody down, shaming someone, making them feel bad. It just needs to be, we don't resonate, period. And I'm actually going to be talking about this in the next Galactic Vision, but I'll just jump in with it right here. We're not meant to like everybody. You know, we're not meant to love and like everybody. That's not how it needs to be. If we loved and liked everybody, we would not have those best friends that feel so amazing. You know, you will never leave their life unless something changes. You know, we need that contrast. So if we just liked and loved everybody, we wouldn't have these amazing friends that we feel such soul connections with. So we just have to understand that it's a barometer. It's something showing us, guiding us as to, this person isn't really right for me, this person is right for me. So we're going to talk about that in the next Galactic Vision, and some teachings on how to go about that, how to initiate that, how to honor that, and how to just make the decision and go on. Because it's the same way if you made a bath and it's ice cold water, you put your foot in there and you're like, ah, I forgot to turn on the heat, I am not taking a bath. You don't just then force yourself to get in it and just deal with its ice coldness. You walk away and you go, okay, I can't take a bath right now, though we have no hot water or whatever, you know. So there's going to be all these teachings that kind of show us how to do this in honoring ways. So this month you can expect that fractures are splitting you off in every direction. You just need to honor it. You just need to go with it. You don't need to put other people down because of it or judge them. And you also need to be open to a realignment of more suited people into your life. So everything that ends brings about something that's going to begin. So do understand that if something's ending for you, there's something new that is going to arrive. And when you're in the Galactic Vision, you trust that. You don't judge this as the end of the world, the end all to be all, or I say that wrong, my editor told me, and I can't remember, the be all to end all, but you don't always judge something as something being wrong. You're more just like riding in a roller coaster, and you know that it's not smart to get off, and you don't know what's going to happen, but you know you're going to be safe, and you're going to eventually be getting off of that and being like, oh my God, that was so much fun! You know, while you're in it, you're like, oh, I want to do this, and I'm freaking out, and then you're always like so exhilarated when it was over. So it's really about learning to trust that, learning to trust the Galactic Vision lifestyle, learning to see where you go and being okay with that, and not labeling it as good or bad. My team's better than your team. My opinion's better than your opinion. You're so behind the times because you have no clue about GMOs. We don't need any of that. We don't need to judge anybody for what they're doing. We just kind of have to trust and use our energy to be like, they're going to wake up from that. You know, something's going to shift in the world, and they're going to wake up, and we're going to be able to combat this issue instead of getting mad and shoving our things down people's throats. So this month is all about breaking apart, but being excited for what is going to then come back to us and magnetize towards us. Okay, so now check out where the minutes are, because I'm going to be saying these on everyone. and now we're going to get into the monthly readings for December 2015. Okay, see you soon, as in 1 second. Bye, kinda. Okay, Cancer. Let's see what's going on with Cancer this month. So, this month, a lot of things are just happening that are kind of out of your control. So, first off, know that you're you're in this path right now where you really have to just almost like how I say about being on a roller coaster and just enjoy the ride, or being on a train and just take in the sights as they're coming. So there's something important with not getting too worked up into things. There can be a fear into the future. Is this going to work out? I don't know if I'm safe. Am I going to mess this up? There's a lot of confusion as to your future and how this is going to unfold, but you're really supposed to just like kind of imagine yourself on that train and just know you're being taken to some place right now. You know, a lot of times when I look at the chart, I'll get this energy that it's where you're creating everything right now. You need to be so attentive and doing just the right thing for your soul, or what's really speaking to your heart, but your energy feels very much like you're just on this ride right now, and you really just need to chill out, trust this, not question it too much, and kind of feel out what each piece is bringing you, what it could possibly mean, but not think in terms of long term. So like when you're going on the train and you're passing this town and, oh, look at that beautiful, oh, look at all, no, there's nothing alive in this town anymore. I guess it's like dead. Nobody lives there anymore. And with that, you're not like thinking that's all you're going to see for the whole ride. You know, you're like, oh, and now we'll get to the next thing, and now we're looking at these mountains, and now we're looking at these pastures with all these horses. So be interested in what you're seeing, but don't try to piece together or understand what this means in the big picture of things. That can be kind of confusing for you if you get too much in the moment, thinking about these things that are happening, that you're kind of like, what is this? Where did this come from? And instead just kind of realize you're taking in the sights right now. This isn't how it's going to stay. And you just kind of have to like be an observer in a way in life. You're being driven, so just be the observer. Daydream out the window. You're also in a kind of health space this month. So, you know, and there's a lot of things going on with your thoughts. So, you know, one of the things I always kind of tell people with health things when they come up, especially since this is a month of separations and break aparts and things, you know, separating from each other that aren't correct. So if you do end up having any kind of health things that are odd and out of place, and something that you're not really understanding why this is happening, this very well can be some kind of needed change that you haven't been able to see. So it can be something partnership related, because you're also really going into a time where, you know, you're either going to come together solid like steel, or you're going to separate, and this just isn't working. That's that. So, and it's a break, you know, and steel too. Yeah. Well, but, you know, so it's either broken for good, or it's fixed for good, or it's sealed for good, you know. So there's lots of changes like that for you anyway. But the health one, a lot of times it can be because we're not living in the right town. We're not sleeping next to the correct person. We're not doing the correct thing with our jobs. I've noticed too that a lot of people get sick if they push too much, thinking they need to be doing more with their career, thinking they need to be this. You know, what I've learned from my journey is that it never pays to push, and it really is so much better to just allow the opportunities to come to you on their own timing. I think we all have really distinct timings in life, and I know this from, you know, having to wait 14 years to manifest my dreams. And but a lot of people, we can't adapt to that. We think, no, now we have to make it now. I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to start this, and then this is going to work. And what we don't realize is the more we push like that, the more we lose confidence. And a lot of times we aren't necessarily in the career path that is ours. We're just oversaturating, doing too many things. So kind of, you know, ponder over any of those things that, you know, if you're having any of the things with getting sick, with having weird things happen, which is not with feeling queasy, if you're kind of feeling like seasick, like you're not really on a solid foundation, you are actually going to be moving into a really, actually you're kind of there right now. You're in a really big rebalancing of your foundation. So it definitely could be that you need to move. It definitely could be that you're now allergic to your home. You know, this just doesn't feel good. And I've known that living in places where it's like, this is wrong. I'm not happy here anymore. And I think a lot of us we're like migrators, you know, we have to keep moving. We have to keep shifting. Now we have to try this out. But basically your body's always telling you, is this the correct person? Is this the correct job? Are these the correct friends? Is this the correct environment to live in? You're always feeling these signs, but, you know, just like with that train ride, we also have to accept that they don't stay the same. You know, things change. Sometimes this is where you need to be and live and learn, but then a couple years down the road, you're going to be put into another country, you know, and you have to roll with that. You have to flow with that. So if there's any kind of seasickness, things not feeling good, feeling off center, weird illnesses hitting you, it's all just kind of aligning you to something with your foundation needs to change, something with your partnerships needs to change, something with your career needs to change. And you know, you'll just have to kind of piece through, feel through which one of those is not operating correctly. And honestly, whenever I say this to someone, I'm like, you know. We don't really have to go, gosh, I wonder what this is. You know, we really are, you know, especially with us awakening to why we're really here, which can be just these tiny little things and not the huge grand scheme things that we may dream. You know, I put on one reading yesterday that, or earlier, that I've done readings for people where their soul's purpose was for their kid. You know, they were raising these really powerful, special kids. That's why you are here, to be this nurturing and supportive influence for this kid. You know, and it's kind of weird telling that to people because a lot of times we just all think of grandiose kind of things of, oh, I'm here to awaken people and I'm here to da-da-da. But a lot of us just have these supportive, nurturing roles for others. You know, I even think of my soul's purpose is very much about supporting, awakening, and amping up people to go off and live their soul's purpose. You know, so it's a supportive and it's a nurturing soul's purpose that I have. And so those kind of things are on your mind, and just kind of really kind of feel out, you know, where also, you know, because I told you you're on this train ride right now where you're really just supposed to be feeling out the sights that are coming, not attaching too much importance to them. Because it's going to change. Like that ghost town you just drove through, you're not only going to be seeing ghost town, you know, it's going to change. Oh, and now look at the beautiful mountains with the snow caps. Oh, I'm so inspired, you know. So kind of understand that the scene is changing, but you're on this train ride for a reason, and you're getting glimpses and signs into things that need to fall away, need to be changed, need to be surrendered into. Like, gosh, you know, I keep trying to make this part of my job work. I keep trying to think, oh, I'm this. I'm a writer. I'm supposed to be da-da-da-da. But gosh, the universe keeps putting me into these teaching positions, you know, or the universe keeps sending me to these teachings. You know, even with me, you know, I knew I had all these gifts. I knew I had all this amazing stuff to offer the world, but the universe kept putting me into coffee shop jobs, you know, kept like putting me into these service-oriented, you know, jobs. And I finally just surrendered, and when the moment was right, I finally came forward. But now I see that most of the key players in my life, in my business even, I met in those service industry jobs. So a lot of times we don't understand why we are not able to do these things that we think we're supposed to do. But who's to say it's not because you have to be in this other job to meet this person who's then later going to publish a magazine and have you be the hugest contributing writer on it or whatever, you know. So there's something with you needing to trust this journey and not to try to force it. You're not in a space right now where it's really important that you do make these decisions that, you know, you can either go left or right, and this is so important. You're on a train ride right now. You're being guided somewhere. So you have to know that controlling things will maybe possibly make you sick. Controlling things and thinking you're the master of the universe very well could have you then knocked out with an illness that keeps you in bed for a year, you know. So we have to really be careful with these times when the bounty is showing up in one way and it's dry in another way. There's a reason it's dry. It very well may fill up again, you know, in a year, 2, 10, 3 months, but really kind of playing the hot or cold or thing with your life right now is important. Of, does this feel so nurturing and loving and valuable? Is this feeding me? Is this a flow that's coming towards me? Is this something that everybody always tells me, you're so good at that? Oh my gosh, this is amazing. So those are the kind of things that you need to be really putting more attention into, and even just an interest, you know, putting an interest in, and not trying to do those things, well, I want to be a published author. You know, keep saying that you are going to be, but don't get so down on yourself if it just doesn't keep manifesting, if you keep getting those manuscripts back and they're denied, you know, because that's the thing too. I always try to tell people, when you try to push too much into areas that aren't open for you yet, you lose confidence, you know. Then you're like, oh my gosh, I'm such a loser. I guess I'm not good at this. And it's really not the case. It's a timing thing. You know, we're not supposed to push before our time. We have timelines. Just like the same as those new moons and those full moons show up on schedule to the minute. You know, the same things as those trees know to start turning colors in the seasons. You know, the same things that, you know, the locusts, or the, you know, how they, you know, they can be underground for 9 to 18 years. And then they all, as a tribe, know to come forward at this one time, and then come up onto the trees, and then mate and turning into flying creatures, and then die, but have the babies go down into the earth for another 9 to 28 or whatever years, depending on where you live. You know, there's timings to things, and we really just need to honor that. Same thing with pregnancy. You know, how often do people get so, especially towards the end, you know, they can get so irritated. I just want it to happen. I just want it to happen. I just want it to happen. Come on, baby. And there's a timing to it. All these mothers, you have a baby 9 months, you know, there's specific timings to life. And it's like our biggest lesson, and you know, because we're always trying to force things, push things, but I want this now, but I want this now. I'm going to make it work. And if you want to keep doing that, I think on Scorpio, I said that too. It's like you're in winter, but you want it to be spring. So you're trying to make these flowers come up out of the ground, but they're not ready to yet. So then you're like, oh my gosh, I'm such a big loser. I'm not good enough because I can't collect these flowers. But you're in winter. They're not coming. There's nothing you can do to force nature. So just sit with that. That's what your December is going to kind of be. It feels kind of like frustrating just because you're wanting something else to happen that's not. And if you are doing something like that, illness can definitely happen. Being really fatigued can definitely happen. Just feeling like, oh, I'm not well. What's wrong? When in fact, you just need to slow down, really kind of see what's greeting you right now. Chill out and know you're on a train for a couple months, and you're just kind of taking in the sights, and you don't need to worry about what is happening, but you do need to have a very positive perspective that it is going to be okay, and that you can't see how this is going to unfold, but you just know it's going to be okay. So use the words that it's okay if you need to rest for a whole week. It's okay if you have to call in sick and can't work. It's okay if, you know, nothing is really manifesting like you thought it would, because you don't know where you're going to be in a couple months. And then it's like, oh my gosh, this, you know, and even here's a great example too, how, you know, with my graphic designer for my projects now, I could never find a graphic designer, and for years it frustrated me so much. Every time I would think I would have someone, it would be a total flake. They'd never come through. Finally, the day of, they say, oh yeah, I don't think I can do this. You know, I had this one girl who was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I don't think I can, I'm in the same, you know, scene as your things. I'm more of a naturalist and a realist. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like you know, anyway. But it was like at the end of the line, and she'd already pushed things so behind. So I've had these things where I kept getting put in these bad positions because nobody was coming through as a graphic designer. And I finally just, you know, I was out hiking one day. Nature is important for you too right now. That's why that came up. You need to be, if you are getting sick and these kind of things, you really need to connect to the earth and allow, because there's confusion around you. I can feel that there's confusion and you really just need to shake it off around nature. But I was out hiking one day and I was like, why is this so hard? I don't understand. Do I need to scream at people to get graphic design jobs? You know, come on guys, go to school for graphic design. There's so many jobs. And then I heard my old best friend's name from high school. And I was like, what was she? I know she's in LA and she's doing something creative. Is she a graphic designer? I'm gonna have to check out when I get home. And sent her a message. Yep, I'm a graphic designer. Hey, do you want to do these things for me? Oh my God, I would love to. And now we're together and it's so beautiful. It's so perfect. I could not ask for a better graphic designer who's like my soul sister. And now I see, why did it not work out? Why did I kept attracting the wrong people? Why was it so confusing? I had to wait to align with my old best friend from high school, where now it's family, and she will not let me down. She will not let me down, you know, and she's going to go through all the thousands and millions of edits I have going, no, that's not good enough. No, we need to make that bigger. No, that's not, you know. So, this is why it had to happen. So you are in this kind of thing. Don't allow the confusion to consume you and overwhelm you in life, and instead just be like, it's not happening for a reason, you know, but the answer will come. It's important that you stay positive on knowing that what you need will come. You just have to wait for the right timing. Okay, my love? All right. Enjoy your December.